In the Bible, the creation account is described in the book of Genesis. In the beginning, God is portrayed as the sole creator of the universe. Over the course of 6 days, God brings forth all things. On the first day, God creates light and separates it from darkness. On the second day, He separates the waters to create the sky and the seas. On the third day, God forms the land, plants, and vegetation. The fourth day sees the creation of the sun, moon, and stars to govern day and night. On the fifth day, God fills the seas and sky with fish and birds. Finally, on the sixth day, God creates land animals and, culminating His creation, forms humanity, Adam and Eve, in His image. God rests on the seventh day, establishing it as a day of rest and blessing. The creation account serves as the foundation for the biblical worldview and the belief in God as the creator of all things. In the biblical narrative, the fall of humanity is described in the book of Genesis. It recounts how God created the first human beings, Adam and Eve, and placed them in the Garden of Eden. They enjoyed a perfect relationship with God and lived in harmony with their surroundings. However, God gave them one command: not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Tragically, Adam and Eve succumbed to temptation when the serpent deceived them into eating the forbidden fruit. As a result, their disobedience brought sin and its consequences into the world. They were banished from the garden, and humanity's relationship with God was fractured. The consequences of the fall included physical death, pain in childbirth, a cursed ground, and an inherent sinful nature passed down through generations. This fall introduced a separation between humanity and God, but it also set the stage for God's redemptive plan. Throughout the Bible, we see God's pursuit of reconciliation, ultimately fulfilled in Jesus Christ, who offered salvation and restored the possibility of a renewed relationship between God and humanity. The story of Noah's Ark is a biblical account found in the book of Genesis. God, observing the wickedness prevailing among humanity, decides to send a flood to cleanse the earth. He instructs Noah, a righteous man, to build an ark. Noah diligently follows God's commands, constructing a massive vessel according to precise measurements. He gathers pairs of every kind of animal, both clean and unclean, to preserve their species. When the ark is ready, Noah and his family, along with the animals, enter the ark. Torrential rain falls for 40 days and nights, flooding the entire earth. The floodwaters cover even the highest mountains, wiping out all life except what is within the ark. Eventually, the rain ceases, and the waters recede. Noah, his family, and the animals emerge from the ark, and God establishes a covenant with Noah, promising never to destroy the earth by a flood again. The Tower of Babel story comes from the book of Genesis in the Bible. After a great flood, people spoke the same language and settled in Shinar. They decided to build a tower reaching the heavens to showcase their unity and achievements. However, God saw their pride and feared their limitless potential. To hinder their progress, He confused their language, causing them to speak different tongues. Unable to communicate, they scattered across the earth, forming diverse nations with distinct cultures. The tower remained unfinished, and the city was named Babel, symbolizing confusion and division. This tale explains the origin of different languages and the dispersion of humanity. It also warns against excessive pride and highlights the consequences it can bring. Ultimately, the story of the Tower of Babel emphasizes the importance of humility and understanding among people. Abraham, the father of nations, is a revered figure in Christianity, known for his unwavering faith and obedience to God. Born around 1800 BCE, he was chosen by God to establish a covenant, a sacred agreement. God promised him descendants as numerous as the stars, and through him, all nations would be blessed. Abraham's journey began when he left his homeland to follow God's command. He settled in Canaan, the promised land. Despite facing challenges such as barrenness and the test of sacrificing his beloved son Isaac, Abraham trusted God wholeheartedly. His faith was rewarded when God provided a ram as a substitute sacrifice, demonstrating His faithfulness and love. Abraham's descendants, the Israelites, formed the 12 tribes of Israel, and through his lineage, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, was born. This makes Abraham a significant figure in the lineage of Jesus, highlighting his pivotal role in God's redemptive plan for humanity. Christians look to Abraham as an example of faith, obedience, and the blessings that come from following God's calling.